The rain was relentless, a constant drumbeat on the roof of Jack's old pickup truck as he navigated the winding country road. The tropical storm had rolled in unexpectedly, turning the clear evening into a nightmare of wind and water. Jack's knuckles were white on the steering wheel, his eyes straining to see through the sheets of rain that the wipers could barely manage. The road was empty, save for the occasional flash of lightning illuminating the dense trees that lined both sides. Jack's phone had lost signal miles back, leaving him feeling isolated in the storm's fury. The radio was nothing but static. The only sounds were the pounding rain and the roar of the wind. As Jack rounded a bend, his headlights caught a glimpse of something on the side of the road. A figure, drenched and shivering, waved frantically. He hesitated, but his conscience got the better of him. He slowed to a stop and rolled down the window. "Need a ride?" he shouted over the noise of the storm. The figure, a young woman, nodded gratefully and hurried to the passenger side. She was soaked to the bone, her long hair plastered to her face. She slid into the seat with a murmur of thanks. "Where are you headed?" Jack asked as he started driving again. "Just up the road," she replied, her voice barely audible over the storm. "My car broke down." Jack nodded, focusing on the road ahead. The storm seemed to be getting worse, the wind howling through the trees. The woman was silent, staring straight ahead with a vacant expression. Jack tried to make small talk, but she gave only brief monosyllabic answers. After what felt like an eternity, Jack spotted a dim light through the rain. "Is that where you're going?" he asked, pointing. "Yes," the woman said softly. Jack pulled up in front of a small, run-down farmhouse. The windows were dark, and the place looked abandoned. The woman opened the door and stepped out into the rain without a word. "Hey, do you need any help?" Jack called after her, but she was already walking toward the house. Feeling uneasy, Jack waited a moment before deciding to follow her. He grabbed his flashlight from the glove compartment and stepped out into the storm. The wind whipped around him, and the rain quickly soaked through his clothes. He walked toward the house, the beam of his flashlight cutting through the darkness. As he approached the front door, it creaked open, revealing a dark interior. Jack hesitated, then stepped inside. The air was damp and musty, the house long abandoned. The woman was nowhere to be seen. "Hello?" Jack called out, his voice echoing through the empty rooms. No answer. He moved through the house, the floorboards creaking under his weight. The place was filled with old, broken furniture and cobwebs. It was clear no one had lived there for years. Jack felt a chill run down his spine. He turned to leave, but as he did, he noticed something on the floor by the fireplace. He shone his flashlight on it and gasped. It was a photograph, yellowed with age, of a family standing in front of the very house he was in. The young woman was there, smiling happily, along with an older couple. Jack's heart pounded in his chest as he realized the truth. He stumbled back toward the door, desperate to escape. As he reached for the handle, a cold hand clamped down on his shoulder. He spun around, but there was no one there. The door slammed shut, plunging him into darkness. The storm raged outside, but inside the house, all was eerily silent. Jack felt a cold breath on his neck and heard a whisper in his ear. "Thank you for bringing me home," the voice said. Jack's scream was lost in the howling wind as the darkness closed in around him.